Welcome to Treon's Realm. With the excitement surrounding Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I figured now would be a good time to kind of throw out some suggestions of some stuff that I think you should personally experience before or around Tears of the Kingdom. Now, right out the gate, I'm going to say Legend of Zelda has always been designed that you can experience each game independent of the others. While Tears of the Kingdom is directly tied into Breath of the Wild, you do not have to have experienced that game in order to fully enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. But I will say that it will definitely add to your enjoyment. And I think some other things that might help add to the enjoyment would specifically be some movies, games, and I'm also going to throw out some YouTube videos as well. Now, right out the gate, I'm going to go ahead and say that there are 3 Studio Ghibli films in particular that I think you should check out. First up is Princess Mononoke. Trust me, once you watch this film, if you have never seen it before, and you go back to Breath of the Wild and also Tears of the Kingdom, you will definitely notice some thematic similarities. Ashitaka in particular feels very much like Link. His entire journey, the aesthetic. I would argue that Breath of the Wild is one of the closest games outside of something like Ni no Kuni where it feels like you are literally playing in a Studio Ghibli world. Next up would be Castle in the Sky. Now, while Breath of the Wild seems to be drawing quite a bit from Princess Mononoke, and even Tears of the Kingdom seems to be drawing some inspiration from this, I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be pulling far more from this particular film. Great story, it's a very fun action adventure, the artwork is absolutely gorgeous, and I think you'll find plenty of characters to fall in love with here. And last up would be Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. This was Studio Ghibli's first official film, and it is absolutely a stunner. Now, while the other two seem to have more direct inspiration in terms of the latest Zelda titles, Nausicaa I think is pulling a little bit more from the outside, but I think it is still a worthwhile watch and absolutely an excellent film. Now, while I could go further into these, I will say that there are better YouTubers online who have done much better deep dives on these, and you should absolutely check out those videos. At the end of this video, I will give you a list of their titles as well as a playlist that I've crafted for them as well. Now, when it comes to the games, there are 3 titles in particular, all on the Switch, so they're all readily available, that I feel everyone who is getting deep into Tears of the Kingdom, they should absolutely play these. First up, Breath of the Wild. This is a no-brainer. Honestly, I would be shocked if you're getting Tears of the Kingdom or getting into Tears of the Kingdom and you haven't played this title. This game is a stone-cold classic. It is a genre-defining piece that takes open-world gaming to whole new levels. So if you haven't played this yet, you should absolutely play this. Next up, Skyward Sword HD. Now, I don't think it's an accident that IGI Inuma wanted this released in between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I absolutely believe that a lot of the storylines that were set in motion here are continuing or even coming to fruition fully in Tears of the Kingdom. Specifically, stuff tied to the Master Sword, the Goddess Hylia, as well as the ancient evil known as Demise. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that the same director has worked on all the pieces that I'm about to show you in terms of games. I will apologize if I butcher his name, but Hidemaru Fujibayashi. He was the director on Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and lastly, he was the scenario supervisor on our final game, and that is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. That means that he directly oversaw the story, the dialogue, everything along those lines. Now, while the game's canonicity has gone back and forth with many fans, I personally happen to think that it falls within the canon. But any way you slice it, the one thing that this game adds to the entire experience is that you do get a much more fully fleshed out take on characters like Zelda, the 4 champions, and it adds a lot more into the story in terms of character interaction. Now, these 4 games, Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword HD, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, they make what I would refer to as a Zelda Tetralogy. And with that, I have actually created a playlist on my YouTube channel right here that gives you what I would argue is some of the more essential viewing. So even if you're not able to play the games or watch the Studio Ghibli films, I think that the videos that I've put together on the playlist will give you enough information that you'll be good to go. Now, there are a variety of talented creators, so I will run down basically thematically some of the stuff that I put together for you. Now, I've got about 4 videos in particular that specifically deal with Studio Ghibli and their influence on Breath of the Wild. And they are With Eyes Unclouded, How Studio Ghibli Inspired Breath of the Wild. This is from Beyond Ghibli. Can Studio Ghibli Tell Us the Story of Tears of the Kingdom? This is a more recent video from Zeltic. The Princess Mononoke Cross Breath of the Wild 2 Connections. This is from Nintendo Black Crisis. And How Princess Mononoke Inspired Breath of the Wild from Nitsua. He's a bit of a smaller creator, but it's a very well done and well put together video. Now, there's 2 particular videos that I like that I've thrown on there that specifically talk about the connections between Skyward Sword and Tears of the Kingdom. These are Skyward Sword connections in Breath of the Wild 2 from Nintendo Black Crisis. This was obviously before we had the Tears of the Kingdom title. And another smaller one that I thought was really well done, Triforce Trilogy, Secret Clues to Tears of the Kingdom in Breath of the Wild. And this is from YouTuber Nadinfar. Lastly, I've thrown in a few videos specifically tying into the Zonai. Now, a lot of people are curious as to who the Zonai tribe is and what their ties are with the entire series, because in Tears of the Kingdom, it has been revealed that they do have a much bigger impact on the story of that particular game. Now, these are a bit meatier, so I would make sure you've got some time set aside for them. This is a 2-part from Nintendo Black Crisis. First up is Zelda's Greatest Secret Uncovered, the Zonai Tribe. And then there is also Who Are the Zonai, a Breath of the Wild documentary. These are about 45 minutes and an hour and a half respectively, so make sure you've got some time when you sit down to watch these. They are meant to be watched back to back. Now, there is an additional video that I've thrown in specifically tied into the Zonai, and it is What is the True Origin of the Zonai? And this is from Zelda Lore. Now, this is an interesting one because I have noticed a lot of people talk about how the latest trailer definitely gave them vibes of Twilight Princess. And while the connections here are a little bit looser than some of the other theories that I've seen, I do think that this is a very excellent, well put together video. This does explore the potential connections between the Zonai tribe and the Twilight people of Twilight Princess. Now, it has been theorized that in terms of the Zelda timeline, Breath of the Wild might be at the end of the branch of the timeline that Twilight Princess sits in. So the idea that the Twilight and the Zonai tribe are connected is a very compelling idea. So I would definitely recommend a watch of this one as well. This one's a bit shorter, just over 10 minutes. Now, when it comes to my playlist, I have added 1 or 2 extra things. Not necessarily needed viewing, but they were nice bonuses, so I figure it was good to throw them in as well. I hope my video helped increase your enjoyment of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and its surrounding titles. I'd be curious to hear everybody else's thoughts and theories about this entire tetralogy and how they all play together. Do you have any personal theories of your own? Please share in the comments down below. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, please subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.